Welcome to So Many Receipts. I'm Fleur Michelle.
And I'm Shelley Seddon. We're former entertainment editors and lifelong reality TV addicts.
Unpacking the tea from the Traitors, Real Housewives, Bravo and beyond. Let's get stuck in. Welcome everyone, and before we get stuck into today's show, Shell and I have been buzzing all week because the time has come. We are going to Hey You Fan Fest in Sydney this weekend.
So there will be 6 Hey You superstars there. We've got Real Housewives, Dorinda Medley, Cynthia Bailey, Meredith Marks, and Juliette Mayhew. Plus, we've got the Southern Charm Boys, Shep Rose and Craig Conover, as well as Captain Jason Chambers from Below Deck, my personal favorite.
Oh, I can't wait to meet them.
I'm predicting there's going to be a lot of screaming, and it might be coming from us.
I was going to say, will that be you and me? Anyway, we will be giving you a full rundown next week.
It's week 2 of the Traitors. I'm sorry to say the fashions are still awful, although Christy Marsh did wear a very nice coat. And I have to say, Gretel's costumes are a mess. She shouldn't be wearing black during the round table. She disappears into the black walls of the set. And why does she keep saying bonjour? She's an Australian in New Zealand.
I didn't realise she was saying bonjour. Yes. I mean, that's going to bug me now. So a week is a long time in reality TV. Last week, I gave Dicko 6 minutes of airtime, literally gushing about how he has always been such great reality TV.
Meanwhile, I said how I found his traitor strategy fascinating.
And yet, I'm going to say it, Dicko is not making great reality TV on the Traitors because this strategy of his, picking any old name, whether he thinks anyone is a traitor or not, and then getting half the room to vote for him is boring. This is making an otherwise exciting show actually duller than it should be because there's no payoff for the viewer. We at least need to see the bad detective skills unfold. Instead, we just keep hearing from Dicko, oh, it's all about remaining safe. Doesn't matter if someone's a traitor. Who cares? But that's the game.
I totally agree with you. You need the satisfaction of catching a traitor. Dicko's rogue strategy, it ultimately doesn't work. At the end of the game, if there are any traitors remaining, they take all of the money. So everyone can assume there are currently 3 traitors. Yes, they will recruit and get more at some point if someone leaves, but you need to get them out.
So do you think his strategy is only to put on his thinking cap right at the end?
I guess so, but it just doesn't make any sense because you can't wait until the end because the faithfuls will be picked off one by one and it's too late by then.
I did like the touching moment between him and Cosima, though, when she was voted out. I think I may have even had a few tiny little tears in my eyes.
I know, me too. Poor Cosima. She was banished for doing what faithfuls should be doing, gathering evidence. She was trying to get people to remember the 6 people that Menaki named before he was murdered. Duh. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to play this game or they don't have any sense of strategy. I think this is AJ's game to lose.
Yeah, I was going to text you and say, AJ is so smart. This professional poker player already knows that it's Kirby, but is just playing it cool.
So if you don't know AJ from Survivor, we're telling you this guy is off the charts when it comes to strategy.
He's so good.
He's amazing. He changed the way I look at reality TV game shows. So the guy would have run hundreds of scenarios in his head. I would immediately align myself with AJ, or if I were a traitor, vote him out immediately. AJ tried to save another survivor, Henry, who wouldn't listen. Henry needed to go into more detail about Kirby and say Queen swore she heard the crunch of Gretel's hands on Kirby's vinyl jacket because girlfriend knows her fabrics.
The crunch of vinyl. I'll just remember that always. He also should have kept his thoughts about the twins for another round table because it was too confusing, the 3 names.
It was too much. He just needed to focus on getting Kirby. Then maybe people would have kept listening to him because he would have been right. Anyway, it looks like the Traitors might turn on Alex next week. And I agree with Kirby. Alex should not be working with AJ.
It's too dangerous and he can't be trusted. So we have some feedback from fans about Traitors. The good news is everyone is loving it, although I do think you have to be a fan of this game or strategy to appreciate it. It's a bit like Survivor in that sense. However, fans are annoyed about a couple of things. Firstly, they were pissed off that 10 revealed in their social media videos that Cam Merchant would be making an appearance this week. They showed this vision over the weekend before the episode with him even dropped. So I don't understand this. They spoilt their own show. Can't you leave the surprises offline, 10? There are already so few surprises in life.
Well, I knew Cam would be back at some point, but no spoilers, especially when the whole show is about trying to work out what's going to happen. Don't show us anything ahead of time.
However, in the end, when the Traitors were given the choice to take Cam back, they didn't. So he got rejected twice. Shell, do you think he will come back for a third time?
I think maybe because poor Cam's just sitting around a hotel in New Zealand drinking cups of tea. Justice for Cam.
Well, if he doesn't come back, that gives weight to my theory last week that if Shane had randomly picked some other person with main player energy, let's say Dicko, producers would have found a way to throw him back in, but maybe not for Cam. Wah. So I think 10 are pumping out a lot of content on socials because they're trying really hard to drum up more buzz. I think they were hoping this show would take off more than it has at this stage. I think it's probably going to turn out to be more like Australian Survivor ratings-wise, dedicated viewers, but probably not a huge show.
Oh, that makes me sad. It is a really great show, but Australia seems to be more interested in romance realities.
Another thing that fans don't like is how the episodes drop first around lunchtime on Templay, and I get this. One of the best things about MAFS is the official Facebook forum where everyone's watching in real time, making comments like, oh my God, did Brooke just say that? What a biatch. It's hilarious and it's bonding for the fans, for the whole fandom.
Yeah. I don't understand that strategy either. And because everyone's not watching Traitors at the same time, you lose that communal feeling.
Yeah, you do. So there must be some kind of programming strategy behind it, but I'm just not sure what it is. I wondered if maybe it's because people like you and me who watched the show early are forced to sit through the 10 play ads because you can't fast forward them.
But then even when you're watching live, you have to sit through the ads anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. So there is a Traitors AU Instagram page where Alvin, Alex and Kirby are constantly commenting on posts in threads with Rob Farnham and Gamble chipping in as well. It's almost like reading a private group chat because not many fans are engaging in it.
I know, I totally noticed that as well. So fans, if you want to exchange with them, get in there.
I think you should maybe get in there and say something.
I'm totally going to get in there and mix it up. I will report back to you next week. So before Keira, Maguire, and Alex Nation entered the Traitors' Castle, they'd spent almost a decade on rocky terms dating back to their time on The Bachelor. But what was their feud actually about?
In a recent interview promoting the Traitors, the pair seemed friendly, sort of. They still got some jabs in about each other, with Alex saying how she didn't appreciate Keira previously calling her a fake lesbian, while Keira insisted Alex had simply taken the comments the wrong way.
Keira also revealed she'd blocked Alex on social media years ago after, quote, something happened, but she didn't explain in the interview what that something was. This all makes us wonder whether she was referring to their very public 2019 fallout.
So initially the pair clashed on Richie Strawn's season of The Bachelor in 2016, where they butted heads due to their strong personalities. Despite that, they stayed in touch after filming.
Then in 2019, on a podcast, Keira questioned why some Bachelor contestants later went on to date women, before turning her attention to Alex, who'd started dating women's AFL player Megan Luxa. Keira said, there's nothing wrong with it, but I do know Alex hooks up with guys as well. So make up your mind, mate.
Alex fired back on Instagram saying no one should comment on another person's preferences. She wrote, I do not have a gender restriction over who I connect with romantically. She also told Keira, I have mad respect for you, but you've rubbed me up the wrong way with this one.
So the pair say they've now rebuilt their friendship while they were filming The Traitors.
But if this recent interview is anything to go by, I'm thinking the old rivalry hasn't completely disappeared.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if these two become allies in the castle or if one will finally betray the other. This week we saw the premiere of the latest Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring Twenties. This celebrates the 20th season of the Real Housewives of Orange County and the creation of the monster franchise that changed reality TV forever. We have 7 OGs, Vicky, Portia, Giselle, Kyle, Luann, Teresa, and Lisa Barlow.
You know they're iconic when they only need one name.
Except Lisa Barlow. She has to have a surname because otherwise we'd get excited and we might think it was Lisa Vanderpump.
There are about 400 Lisas in the Housewives Bravoverse.
Yes. So the first episode was really just setting the scene. And the premise is that they're going on this Housewives road trip, traveling to different Housewives cities and reminiscing about the franchise. And apparently there are going to be 82 Housewives making appearances.
So I didn't realize we were going to get so many Housewives cameos and flashback clips. I thought it was going to be like any other girls' trip where you just stick the women in a house and you let them argue.
Yeah, me too. But they started out in Orange County, and then they're going to head to LA, Atlanta, Miami, and New York before finishing at Dorinda's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires or the Berkshires.
I like this show. I smiled all the way through. However, I think it's probably made for a very long time Housewives viewer like me. It almost felt like I was watching a historical documentary about the Real Housewives.
I'm just hoping that it's not going to be a historical documentary for every single episode because I thought the first episode was kind of underwhelming.
Oh,
And
really?
maybe that's because I didn't watch Orange County 20 years ago. I don't know the history from the beginning, so I didn't get some of the references and the nostalgia the same way. I don't know what Bunko is, and plus I still maintain that Vicky is just not that interesting.
Is Bunko like an American version of Bingo? Do you
I've
have
never heard
Bingo
of it.
in the States?
Yeah, we have Bingo, but I don't know what Bunko is. I've never heard of that.
Okay. I knew you were going to say that about Vicky, though. I mean, you could never make me hate Vicky Gunvalson. I think everything she says and does is hilarious, and Andy Conn agrees with me.
Oh well, Vicky's obviously here to stay. And so we also saw Luann and Giselle together again. We saw them on Love Hotel last year, and I wasn't exactly thinking, oh my God, I can't wait to see what these two are up to now. I'm not overly excited by this particular mix of women yet.
I do also think it's nice that some housewives from the Dubai and Miami franchises are going to pop up because those are now cancelled.
Yes, I loved both of those shows. And this series was actually filmed over about 2 weeks in January. It was just before Luann came to Australia for her cabaret show.
Which we flew to Brisbane to see because she didn't do one in Sydney. It was well worth it. We were literally in the first row.
It was epic. And I remember telling her I was worried that she wasn't going to make it to Australia because I thought she might be exhausted and filming in Red Overtime.
And we have tickets. You can't cancel this or put it back. That is still the best Housewives live show I've seen. Luann was so warm and nice to us, and that really comes across, I think, in this show. I would actually feel safe with Luann.
Totally agree. And no one has really behaved in a way that shocked me so far.
Although Teresa has surprised me a little. She seems much more timid around these women than I expected. I wonder if the year she spent in prison has made her more cautious about how she acts around people.
I did feel sorry for her when she started to talk about her time in prison for business fraud, and Vicky just bulldozed her and had the speech about the importance of doing your taxes. I don't think we've seen the real drama yet. Taxes and insurance forms. I hope that there's more drama than that.
So sick about hearing Koto insurance, but that's part of her shtick.
Yeah.
Look, it's early days. Let's give it a little more time. So we all remember the dresses that broke the internet, don't we? There was Kim Kardashian squeezing herself into Marilyn Monroe's iconic dress at the Met Gala in 2022.
There was also Lady Gaga turning up at the 2010 VMAs in a dress made entirely of decomposing raw meat.
And way before that, there was J-Lo's plunging green Versace dress at the 2000 Grammys, which actually launched the concept of Google Images. But now we have a new contender, Brittany Cartwright, and her brown satin cutout dress at the Valley reunion. And when I say this dress has generated a lot of commentary online, people's keyboards actually combusted. We're now up to part 2 of the reunion, and there are thousands and thousands of negative comments about this dress, and I completely understand why, because I don't like this dress either.
I know, I don't like it as well. And unfortunately, Brittany has never been one to wear clothes that were particularly flattering.
I don't like the color on her. I don't like the tight fit. I don't like the shiny satin. I don't like the cutouts or the weird bows. It's a lot, okay? She's had a mummy makeover. She obviously wanted to show off her shape, but it just wasn't flattering on her in the least. And I'm saying this as a Britney fan, stan. I love Britney. I think this girl has a heart of gold. I just wish she hadn't worn it.
I also want to state for the record that I am also Team Britney. And I just saw her on Watch What Happens Live recently. And my first thought was, she looks so pretty. She has a beautiful face. Her hair looked great. You know, we love her.
Such a pretty face, but she just has no idea what clothes work for her. So the overwhelming response online has been Britney needs to sack her stylist, but I don't think Britney's ever had a stylist. I think this dress is probably shipped to her direct.
I did a deep dive. I do love my fashion, and this dress is by a designer, and I use that term very loosely, called Du Jaune of Dieu, from their Midnight Glimmer collection, and the color is chestnut. So I am now referring to this designer as Dudu Abdu. Plus, this dress isn't exactly cheap. It's currently on sale for $1,700 US. It does have free shipping to Australia. So this is around 2,700 Australian dollars.
I'm sorry, but it does not look expensive. It looked a bit Fashion Nova.
Well, I really do think Brittany needs some professional styling help. She is a reality TV veteran. She knows how this works. Your reunion look is the look of the entire season, and it needs to be absolute perfection. Like, does she not have a team? A gay BFF? Zach, hello. You dropped the ball on this one. Someone needs to help this girl. Fashion intervention.
She obviously did not run this past Zach. So a lot of people were saying, what was she thinking? However, I do think I know what she was thinking. She often chooses the va-va-voom clothes that are way too tight because she wants to feel hot. She wants to feel confident. But I think she'd look so much better in something that's more casual, cool, chic, like dreamy, flowy, pretty. Maybe she needs Rachel Zoe's help.
Well, I want to know, can someone please tell me what exactly was the theme of this reunion? Because usually reunions have some kind of theme. Maybe it's a color or a vibe from somewhere the cast traveled to during the season. But I see nothing cohesive about these looks except the color brown.
I mean, we're wearing brown, but that's okay. We're in our living rooms.
This is magenta, or no, this is burgundy. Burgundy.
It was depressingly drab. I actually think the entire cast of The Valley is on fashion life support. Someone revive them, please.
Yes.
Luke, I'm looking at you as well in that crumpled pink suit. So when it comes to Zach, I genuinely don't understand his friendship with Brittany. She keeps saying how they've been friends for 18 years, ever since Kentucky days. And yet Zach always seems to have some kind of issue with her. And she brought it up again at the reunion.
He wasn't exactly supportive on the couch.
Do you think he just enjoys messing with her for extra airtime? I don't know. We also had some other real-life Valley drama that just happened. Jax Taylor has now gone public with his new relationship with Brittany's former publicist and longtime friend Laurie Krebs, who is also his former PR.
And so Jax is saying, I'm in the happiest place I've ever been.
So Brittany has described the relationship as a complete betrayal and called Laurie a snake, saying Laurie knew every in and out of her life and still chose to sleep with the enemy. So Laurie helped Brittany plan her 2019 wedding to Jax and supported her through their divorce. And yes, everyone's now single. They can date whoever they want. But when your ex moves on with someone who is also one of your closest friends and you all the details of your relationship and it's in the public eye, I mean, that's going to sting.
She said that Laurie was like family, and it's just very messy. And it's a bit like the West and Amanda situation on Summer House, given that West had dated Ciara and Amanda was her best friend.
Plus, I have one final burning question. Why would Laurie even want to date Jax?
He is a walking red flag. She knows him professionally and personally. She knows what this guy is like.
He's basically the world's worst boyfriend. It's actually so funny that he got fired from the Valley and is desperate to be back on TV. She's a PR. Maybe she orchestrated her own relationship for his relevancy.
So now onto story time. And I think we were all shocked last week when Perez Hilton had that incident on TikTok live stream cutting himself. And it's now thought that he might have been suffering from post-sepsis syndrome or had some kind of mental breakdown, or it might even have been drug-related in some way. But he did develop sepsis a few months ago and spent 3 weeks in hospital. His family is now saying that he'll require surgery after suffering significant blood loss. So this is all very serious and was definitely not some kind of stunt. Public reaction has been mixed because Perez Hilton has a very complicated history.
Very complicated.
So bizarrely, Perez once personally emailed me, which I'll get to in a minute, but regarding this incident, it does raise some very difficult questions. Like, how can you have sympathy for someone who has behaved so terribly towards other people? And so he started his blog back in 2004. So I was living in LA, working as an entertainment journalist at World Entertainment News Network and at Hollywood Live. And I was a part of that whole machine. Everyone in LA read his blog religiously, and he wielded so much power.
So at the time, I was at New Idea and NW here in Sydney, and we actually didn't take Perez that seriously down here. I do remember thinking his blog was basically just his own mean, snarky opinions, and I didn't actually think he was particularly funny. And some of the things he did were absolutely vicious. So he really went after Britney Spears when she was having her very public breakdown. How ironic. That time, remember when she shaved her head and she beat up a car with her umbrella? Perez absolutely tormented her in his blog. And then after Heath Ledger passed away, Perez made a T-shirt using Heath's picture with the words, "Why couldn't it have been Brittany?" And I remember thinking, wow, that is absolutely despicable.
Exactly. And it was a different time. That's the excuse we all use these days to justify writing horrible things about celebrities at the time. And I'm guilty as well. It was just this really strange period. You had Brittany, Paris Hilton going to jail, Anna Nicole Smith dying. And my outlets, thankfully, were more news focused than gossip focused, but we were still profiting off celebrities and their flawed personal lives like he was.
Well, it was so unfiltered. It was unmoderated, right? Perez was actually the original troll, as there was no social media. So trolling didn't really exist until he started his blog. I'm actually glad people now get called out about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I do have my own bizarre Perez Hilton story. So I'd moved back to Sydney in 2010, and I got this random message out of the blue from Perez. And I can't remember who, but a mutual friend must have given him my details. And he said he was coming to Sydney. I think it was just for one night. And he asked if I had a gay friend who could show him around.
You must have fallen off your chair to see that name just pop up in your inbox.
I did. And so Perez Hilton was emailing me for hookup advice. And I actually was really good friends with this drag queen at the time. And I won't mention her name, but I immediately called her and I was like, girl, I am about ready to make your career. Perez Hilton wants to party and needs someone to show him the gay side of Sydney. Are you around? And I just remember my friend let out this devastated groan, and she said that she couldn't because she was having surgery first thing in the morning and couldn't drink, couldn't party, and needed to stay home. So she was actually having a nose job first thing. And she said if it was anything else, she would have canceled immediately. But this had been scheduled for 6 months, and she'd already paid a lot for the surgery.
So what did you say to Perez?
I think I just gave him a list of places that my friend said he should go to, and I never heard from him again. But I do remember feeling kind of special that he contacted me, even though he was absolutely deplorable.
Well, even though now he's largely irrelevant, he's still very famous. He was back then, he still is. So everyone online was saying, don't watch this footage, it's too disturbing. And of course, I couldn't help myself. I found some fuzzy clips on X, and it was horrendous. I'm not kidding. Awful. I only watched about 15 seconds and I just had to quickly shut it down. I thought, no, you can't watch this. Shut it down, because it actually made me feel physically sick. He was moaning as he made these cuts. He was completely blood-soaked. It was just so terrible.
Well, I'm glad. I actually only saw a still photo, and that was enough to stop me in my tracks. And that was enough for me to not try and look up the footage.
I'm so glad you did not look. You do not need to watch that footage,
No.
honestly. There were also several friends of his on this live as well. So on TikTok, he does these mock battles with people where they insult each other and viewers give them money. For much of this live, these friends didn't realise he was seriously cutting himself until he was actually quite far gone. So TikTok said the live stream was flagged within minutes, but a moderator error delayed the removal. Police were called after people watching the stream dialed 911, but many people still opened up their For You page, and the live of him cutting was the very first thing that they saw. Anyway, his TikTok account's now banned. But I just couldn't believe X was still airing those clips. Elon, what were you thinking? So Perez Hilton has acknowledged in recent years that he regrets his past behaviour, and some people are saying now, look, give him a break. He's sorry for what he said.
But other people are talking about karma. He's now getting what he deserves. And basically, why should I care about someone who spent years tormenting other people? Perez apparently had some kind of come to Jesus moment while he was previously in the hospital, and he's now this born again Christian. Plus, he announced that he is no longer gay. So,
oh my God, I can't believe that.
I know. I don't know. So he has these 3 kids who need to be raised. And I do have some sympathy because, I feel like in these circumstances, you do need to take the high road when someone tries to do better and give them a little bit of grace.
So I don't suddenly think Perez Hilton is this great person because he's shown he's vulnerable and he had a breakdown. But I do have compassion as well, although I don't think his past behaviour should be erased.
Well, he's still in the hospital. It will be interesting to hear what he has to say once he's fully recovered.
So that's it for So Many Receipts this week. I'm Fleur Michelle.
And I'm Shelley Seddon.
Join us again next week.